All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my thoughts on Deandre Hopkins signing a new contract with the Tennessee Titans. So yesterday, the news broke out that Deandre Hopkins finally signed with the team after being released by the Arizona Cardinals by the end of May. He's waited nearly 2 months to sign with the NFL team. The team he selected is the Tennessee Titans, and he signed a new 2-year deal with the Tennessee Titans. The deal is a 2-year, $26 million contract, but can be added up to a total of $32 million with contract incentives by the end of the 2-year deal. So with that being said, my thoughts on this, I don't believe that Deandre Hopkins truly made the right choice in terms of going to his next team. He could have been traded from the Arizona Cardinals, but they weren't liking the draft compensation that other NFL teams were willing to give them for a star wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins. So instead, the Arizona Cardinals decided to release DeAndre Hopkins. He was an NFL free agent for nearly 2 months and had the decision to pick any NFL team to go to next. And I just don't think he made the right move going to the Tennessee Titans. With everything that was out there, with him having his own choice to where he wanted to go next, he could have signed with a better team that had a better chance of winning a Super Bowl this upcoming NFL season. Teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, teams like the Buffalo Bills, teams possibly of the Cleveland Browns or the Baltimore Ravens. All those teams have trustable quarterbacks, more trustable than his new quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. And yes, the Titans still have Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is not the worst option at the quarterback position, but he has had his moments. We have all known that Ryan Tannehill is a good quarterback. Yes, I will give him that. But in that big run that the Titans went on a few years ago in the playoffs, that 2019 run, was not really responsible. Ryan Tannehill really didn't have any responsibility for going on that deep playoff run. It was really the defense. It was really Derrick Henry putting his team on his back. Derrick Henry had more rushing yards than what Ryan Tannehill had passing yards in those playoff games when they defeated New England Patriots, when they defeated the Baltimore Ravens, and they were competing against the Kansas City Chiefs. He wasn't responsible for that playoff run. It was Derrick Henry. Don't believe me? How many playoff games has he won since then? They lost the next year to the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card game. Then in the 2021 playoffs, they were the #1 seed playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. And he didn't do anything to help them win that game. I mean, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times in that game, and Ryan Tannehill still couldn't put the game away and help the Titans get back to the AFC Championship. So you tell me, is Ryan Tannehill more trustable than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson? No, he's not. And Ryan Tannehill only played in a total of 12 games last year. His health and liability and his responsibility for being out there is a question mark. If he gets hurt, the team has to turn to 2 unproven players, guys like Malik Willis, who will be heading into his second NFL season. Guys like Will Levis, that is still a rookie but dropped drastically in the NFL draft. He was projected to be a top 5 pick and slid all the way to the 2nd round. And right now, Malik Willis is actually reported, from the reports that I've seen, Malik Willis is actually doing better than Will Levis in training camp thus far. So it seems like Malik Willis actually might win this backup job, and Malik Willis might win this backup job, and Will Levis might be the 3rd string quarterback. We have to find out. Preseason's coming up very, very soon. And Tennessee is truly a place where wide receivers just fail to be an offensive threat. The offense is set up for Derrick Henry to get the ball. And we have seen wide receivers one out or bad things have happened when wide receivers go to the Tennessee Titans. Remember when A.J. Brown was with the Tennessee Titans? He wanted out because of how the offense was. He was frustrated that he wasn't getting the ball. Traded the Philadelphia Eagles. We saw how talented of a player he really is at the wide receiver position last year. Julio Jones, when he signed with the Tennessee Titans, we really never saw Julio Jones get back to that status of being one of the best wide receivers in the NFL after his time with the Tennessee Titans ended. And even though he had a short season, he just never looked the same afterwards. And then Robert Woods, who was once upon a time one of the best wide receivers that the Rams had a few years ago. Yes, he did come back from a torn ACL, but he did play all 17 games last year for the Tennessee Titans, and he only had 527 receiving yards, and he only had 2 receiving touchdowns last year, and that offensive system that's meant for Derrick Henry to get the ball. So why would DeAndre Hopkins go to a team that is mainly built on the running back getting the ball? That's how they're going to find success next season. And don't get me wrong, DeAndre Hopkins is 31 years old. He's still in the prime of his career. Without a doubt, still a top 10 wide receiver in the National Football League. Definitely a team that any team in the NFL would love to have DeAndre Hopkins right now. But if his true aspirations were really about winning a Super Bowl, this would not be the destination that you would have picked. Going to the Tennessee Titans, going to a team that I truly believe that will win 8 games or less next year, maybe 7 or less. I put on the poll for you guys. You guys are on my side as well. I said that if would the Tennessee Titans win 10 games or more or 8 games or less, and 89% of you guys said that the Titans would win 8 games or less. So if his true aspirations were winning a Super Bowl next year, he should have played with quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City was open to having him. Can you imagine Kansas City with an offense of Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, and Travis Kelce with those speedy wide receivers of Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore, and Andy Reid play calling? Can you imagine DeAndre Hopkins playing with the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins all in the offense? Can you imagine him possibly going to the Cleveland Browns, playing alongside his former quarterback and Deshaun Watson, reuniting for the first time since the Houston Texans days? You have offense of Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Nick Chubb. Can you imagine possibly being in a Baltimore Ravens offense with Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, J.K. Dobbins, a new offensive play caller, no more Greg Roman offense? These are all the options that DeAndre Hopkins could have truly had, and he decided to go to the Tennessee Titans. So whatever happens next is all on DeAndre Hopkins. I do believe that he made the wrong decision signing with the Titans over those teams that I just named and over those scenarios that he could have been in terms of winning situations. But that is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off, and I'll see you guys on next week's episode.